Basically, look, in 4 steps, I'm gonna teach you to control an aggressive opponent that's trying to overwhelm you. Let's get it. So in fighting, first understand there's different styles of fighting. Like, yes, you've got the sport of boxing, but fighting long from the outside is different to fighting short on the inside. Those are 2 different styles. You've got counter fighting. You've got tons of different options. And those styles are determined by range. What range do you best fight at? Depending on your phenotype, the length of your punches, the length of your reach, the length of your legs, the length of your torso, what your personality is. Do you just like brawling on the inside and throwing volume? What's your cardio like? What's your explosivity like? What's your muscle type like? Do you get what I'm saying? All of this will affect whether you want to go for that one punch, whether you want to drown someone over time and just pick them apart. How do you want to beat someone? So it's a case of self-awareness, a very important principle in martial arts and in life in general. When you're the one who's defending against someone trying to brawl you on the inside and they're trying to get on the inside range and land volume, land power punches, they're generally going to be shorter, right? I know this because I'm 5'6", so I've usually had to get on the inside of opponents. The ones that successfully keep me away have done the following, and that's what we're going to teach you today. It is become the matador. So think about Spanish bullfighting. A matador does what? Like, he's trying to stay away from the bull and keep the bull from getting on the inside of him. So we're going to apply that same principle, and what you're going to do is use a brawler, an infighter. You're going to use a bum rusher. You're going to use their energy against them. So they're going to try to get on the inside, you're going to get away from them and then counter them and then turn the tables in that way. Use their aggression against them, become the matador. Here's how you do it in 4 steps. So what does a bum rush look like? It looks like this. Henry's literally just going to rush in and overwhelm me. And if I'm not ready for it, he's most likely going to land some shots. Yeah. So if I'm not prepared for that, you can see how it's very easy to get overwhelmed, especially against, like, when you've got a ropes, you've got the corners of the ring, it's easy to get pushed into like a corner and just get battered. So here's how you deal with it. Right, so step 1, get long. He's trying to get short. Short means on the inside here, where he's past my arms. I want to stay long, which is literally means the opposite, keep him at the length of my arms. Now, rather than looking at the length of my arms, we're going to do what you should always be doing when you learn fighting, which is look at the feet. So I've got 2 options generally. Generally, there's 2 different ways you can stand in fighting. One is square like this, one is bladed like this. I want to pick the bladed option because when I put, square is where you put your feet generally underneath your shoulders, facing your opponent like this. Long and bladed is where you switch 90 degrees and you put 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. I want to go long because this optimizes my ability to keep him at the end of my arms whilst maximizing my length. If I now go square, I'm closer to his fists. Do you see that? Here, I'm further from his fist. Now he can't touch me. So I'm going to maintain a bladed stance. There's pros and cons to both. Check out my other video about when to use bladed, when to use square. For now, we're using bladed. And then once you've picked your bladed stance, which key points are, front foot is facing in. This is for boxing, by the way. When you're getting kicked in K1 in Muay Thai, this changes a little bit. For boxing now, front toes and front knee is about 45 degrees facing this way, front shoulder tucked in, and back foot is as far away as you can maintain good balance and good movement still. So going as long as you can, wide feet like this, really turning in, minimizing any exposure of your body, side onto your opponent. So your shoulder, hip, knee, ankle is intersecting the square of him like this, like a T down his spine there. Look, I'm making this T shape with these joints. Once you pick the bladed stance, now you're going to pick your footwork. You've got 2 main options. One is being light on your feet and dynamic, where you're kind of bouncing like this. This is more of a Russian style and a karate style of footwork. The advantages are you can get in and out quite easily like this. The disadvantages is that it takes a lot of energy because you're constantly moving. To do this, all you do is just spring through your feet. This is why you need strong, flexible feet, which is why I'm always talking about training your feet. So it looks like this here. Just a little bit of jumping up, down, back, forward like that. Boom, keeping nice soft knees, nice soft ankles, and really relaxed upper body. The other option is a more American style footwork where you just keep the feet planted like this, and instead of jumping in and out of range, what you're going to do is step in and out of range. So your footwork for Soviet style, for jumping style, karate style like this, is more dynamic. You're just jumping all over the place. American style is more single steps, where you're staying still in between your steps, like that. Point is in both, no matter which you pick, you're staying as long and as bladed as you can, like this. And the advantages of American style is that it takes less energy and you can go longer without getting tired. The disadvantages are you're not as agile, obviously. I say pick one or the other. Mate, if you want to get good at fighting, just learn both, innit? Right now, point number 2. So we've gone long in step 1. We know how to stand appropriately to maximize distance. Point number 2 is use your lead hand to create a fence. A fence simply refers to, this is a principle from self-protection. Like in street fighting and any type of fighting, I don't want my opponent just to get free access to me, ever. I want to erect what's called a fence, which is hands, legs, vibrational field, like a threat, me telling him something, don't come close or I'm gonna kill you. I want to put something that creates doubt or a physical obstruction between me and my opponent to keep me safe. Between me and the source of the danger, whether it's like jumping over a fence, literally, to get in the way of a dog trying to bite you. Like, think of it like that. You are erecting a fence with your front hand, which makes it harder for him to breach. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to striking, there's 3 parts to an attack. You've got an entry where I enter into range. I've got an execution, which is where I execute my technique. And then I've got an exit where I then leave again. I call it the 3 E's. So this fence stops that first thing happening. So look, enter, execute, and then exit again. There. And good fighters will do all 3 in the blink of an eye. So I'm breaking it down into 3 steps, but actually at a high level, you just do it all together. So Henry's gonna enter with a jab. So he's executing, finishes the combination, boom, throws whatever, and then he's back out again. Here. So he's done all 3 in one go. So it's my job as the matador and stopping a bum rusher getting in by erecting a fence to begin with. Look, so now here's where we're going to start using our hands, specifically our front hand though, to create a fence. And what I'm going to start doing against the bum rusher, i.e. someone that's gonna just run in at me. So what I'm using is my front hand specifically to brace against his head, against his chest like this, or on his hands here. Key point is my feet are strong, so I've got structure. I'm actually bracing and creating this fence via my feet, through my strong hips, through the alignment of my ankles, knees, hips, core, spine, shoulders, into my arm. Look, my whole body is keeping him there. I'm not just relying on the push of my arm, which is much weaker than my whole body, like this. So straight away, I put this fence up where I'm touching his hands like this. And what this is going to do is give me feedback. It gives me a sense of tension and tells me when he wants to come in. So if he doesn't push against me, I can feel there's no tension here with my fence. So actually he's not about to rush me. So I've got a split second where I've got a read on him and I can think, all right, I'm safe for the time being. As soon as I feel that little bit of tension, I know he's going to start coming in, which is when I then implement my next move, which we'll come on to in a second. So this principle of fencing, and also if he just wants to attack from here, just throw whatever. Look, I've got, again, a fence. I've got something to protect myself with. That's what this is for. So this principle of fencing is to get feedback and to create an immediate barrier from him attacking me like that. Focus on the front hand. Backhand stays here to protect against his common weapons, which is his jab and his hook off the front hand here. And the front hand just keeps pushing like this, even against the head there or his arm here. So I've got chest, I've got backhand, and I've got head there like this. So even if he's just trying to load up with his hands, it's the exact same thing, the long fence like that. And to put it into a more of that's me in an American style planted footwork, to put it into that more Soviet dynamic style, it's the exact same thing. I'm just touching, keeping the hands out like this here. There. Okay. And then to take that a step further, rather than just touching and pushing him to feel that resistance, I can start extending my hand as a jab here. So I turn that fence into more of an attack at the same time. So using my footwork, look, I'm punching, I'm jabbing to elicit a reaction from him. And already you can see, as I'm throwing a jab now, using my whole body by the way, he's now not as able just to suddenly rush in. He's having to think about what's coming back. You see like this? Look, his weight is going onto his back foot, which means it's not as easy for him to rush in when he's doing this, because he's got the threat of my jab, you see? So I'm neutralizing the equation a little bit. I'm making it harder for him to bum rush me. Right, so you've created your fence. Here's step number 2, and that is use footwork to create counter shot opportunities. So the whole point of how you become a dangerous matador and fight a bull is you're constantly trying to land your counter shots, which requires footwork. There's 3 primary foot movements you're going to focus on. 1, just step back for me. 1 is a step back. So I'm literally pushing off my front foot and stepping back out of the way like this. So my direction is from forward to back. When he tries to bum rush me, look, I'm literally coming back like that. Whether that's a step or whether I'm hopping. Come again. I'm just hopping like this. So when you step back and you create that distance, come bum rush me, use your palms though, palms. Yeah, so I step back like this, okay. What are my counter shots? You can hit him with anything, right? But the ones we're gonna look at primarily is a lead hook like this. So as he's rushing, I step back. I'm trying to catch him as I step back like this. I can go to the head or I can go to the body there. I've also got my cross straight down the middle. So as I'm stepping back, there, like that. So I'm looking for his jab as he's coming in. He's rushing me, boom. And then I crack him over the top with my straight right. Or I've got an uppercut off both sides. He's rushing, boom. And again, keep coming, boom, there. So for any of these shots, I'm stepping back, jumping back, and keeping my weight on the back leg, cracking here, here, here. I'm keeping my head backwards, my weight backwards, and punching as I go back, as he's throwing his shots. Option number 2 is creating an angle on my opponent. I'm generally looking to cut a 90-degree angle against his hip. By that, what I mean is, if you come here, yeah, here, if you look at his hips, like we said, he's generally going to be quite square trying to come into me. I'm going to stay long. I'm creating a T here where my front hip is intersecting his hips like this, you see? This way, like this, here. So when I say 90 degrees, I generally want to be here, because here I've got really good counter opportunities and I take away his danger because he's not facing me anymore. So anytime, oh, and to go the other way as well. So that's past his front foot. Also, we can go to his other side as well. Boom. Boom, boom, like this. So when I talk about option B, creating an angle, think about trying to get 90 degrees to your opponent's hips. To do that, you've got 2 primary steps. One is a cross step, where I'm stepping across myself. Generally, you never want to cross your feet in boxing, but you learn the rules to break them. This is where we're learning the rules to break it. So now I'm stepping across his front foot like this to end up at a 90-degree angle there. And then another way of going past that front foot is I literally just sidestep with my back foot first and turn like this. The way this looks is here I'm in my stance nice and long and bladed like we talked about, whether I'm jumping, whether I'm still. All I do is bring this front foot across my back foot and then pivot across it like this to go 90 degrees. Or I just use my sidestep where 1, 2, like that. You can also add a little hop like this. But, so you can drill those 2. Just do as many reps as you need to just to get the pattern down. Very simple. So I've got my fence here like this. He's then gonna bum rush me. Boom. See, here. Or the side step, the other side step. Boom. Here. One more. Hold on, slow down. Ready, so I've got my fence. I'm touching. Boom. Side step. Like a matador with the cape, right, with the ball. Or side step. Boom. Like that. For number 2, the counter shots you're going to look for is as soon as you get that angle, hit him with a hook or an uppercut or a short overhand as you hit the angle. So as he rushes me, boom, here's going to be my hook. And again, uppercut there to the body. Do it here so you can see. As he rushes me, boom, here, boom, with a cross step, here, to the outside, cross here, hooks here. Whatever I can do after creating that angle, get my frame here. I'm just going to touch him with whatever feels appropriate in that moment. The point is get the angle first, step back, create the space first, and hit him as he comes in. In terms of when I go forward, short shots this time. So I'm here, he starts rushing me, boom, look, short uppercut here. And again, overhand here. And again, here. Whatever works. Just time it so that you're creating a collision basically. That's how good counter fighting works. Use his energy to incite him to attack. You use your fence to read when it's appropriate for you to throw your shot. As soon as you feel him coming in, boom, catch him. Option 3 is actually going into him. So option 1 is going back. Option 2 is cutting an angle to the side. Option 3 is actually pushing off your back foot and going in and taking the fight to him. So rather than actually stepping back and trying to land counters from the outside, this time go back a little bit. As he rushes in, boom, I come forward and I shut him down here. Now all of a sudden I'm taking the fight to where he wants it. Then I can look at angles after that, but then I go back out again. There's more of an advanced concept where I'm basically saying, surprise him a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? If he knows that the whole time you're trying to get away and you're trying to cut angles, then it becomes quite predictable. Whereas if sometimes, so if I've constantly been running away like this, I'm trying to stay to the outside there, I'm like bumping like this, I'm constantly doing the same thing, and then he keeps bum rushing me, but then sometimes I come in, and then I come on the inside when he tries to rush me. It's a bit of a disruption to the pattern. So you're giving him another thing to think about. And also you might catch him with a shot because he's not ready for it. Do you get what I'm saying? You've been doing one thing the whole time, then all of a sudden you do the opposite. It's going to be surprising. So that's the third backup option you've got. And lastly, point number 4 is more of a mental trick, and that is become familiar and be able to read what they're trying to hit you most with. Most brawlers have a finishing shot they like to land at the end of their combinations. You can start reading them over time, which shot they're trying to put you to sleep with, which shot they're trying to end their attack with. So it might take a little bit of time to work out. Just like a bullfight, it's like, as Henry's coming towards me, he's throwing his stuff. I might have to spend like a few minutes, like a couple of rounds, just seeing what shot he likes to land. So if you saw then, he landed his cross twice. That's why this bladed stance is so important, because it helps me stay long and gives me time to watch what he's doing. So I'm constantly picking up that he's setting up everything to land his right hand, right? So I'm now downloading that into my brain, and I apply that to the other steps. So as I'm circling, as I'm trying to get angles on him, keep coming. I know that right hand's coming. So in that instance, that was a right hand. It could be a left hook to the body. It could be literally any punch. So let's say it's a left hook, just come in and just touch me with some combinations and finish with that left hook to the body. Boom. And again, but I can see now after a few times, he's always finishing with that left hook. So as the round progresses, I'm thinking, all right, I need to be wary that after, that's his final combination, which is going to be where I need to block the most, and then that's my opportunity to counter. So in this left hook example, I step back, I keep stepping back. As he throws this, that's when I'm going to throw my hook over the top, for example. And again, boom, here. Also, I'm going to also be circling away from his power shot. So if it is that left hook, and again, boom, boom, there, I'm constantly moving because I know he's going to finish with that left hook. And one more time, boom. So I'm circling away from it there. So if it was the right hand, just like before, I'll be stepping, boom, away from the right hand to take away the power of it, and then to try to land my counters as well. So that's point number 4, is just get used to what they're finishing their shots on. What's their kill shot that they prefer the most? And just become aware of that, and then implement your counters appropriately as the fight goes on. And by the way, if they're good, they're going to start countering your counters, which is why high level fighting is basically a chess game. They're trying to outread you as you're trying to outread them. So yeah, try them out, comment, let me know how it goes. Let me know if anything doesn't make sense. Tell me if you've got any more questions. Drop the comment, like the video obviously, and I'll probably make a video to any good comments, you get what I'm saying? So be active, DM me at Don_Samraz on all my socials, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram. Join the free group, the free Telegram group, and just tell me what you want to work on. I'm gonna be making these videos every day, so I'll help you, you get what I'm saying? Just tell me what you need help with.